General Motors has decided to stop building its BrightDrop electric delivery van at its plant near London, Ontario. The company says demand has dropped too much to continue, and the facility in Ingersoll will not reopen. For Ontario's auto industry, already hit with years of instability, this was another painful blow. When the news became public on October 21, 2025, it hit more than just a factory floor. Over 1,200 families suddenly faced uncertainty. Many workers had spent years at this plant, long before BrightDrop existed, expecting stable paychecks that supported mortgages, tuition, and retirement plans. What GM saw as a business decision, workers saw as a broken promise. The feeling of betrayal was stronger because this plant had been promoted as a major piece of Canada's electric vehicle future. GM had once praised Canadian workers, highlighted government support, and welcomed billions in federal and provincial funding. For years, that partnership looked secure. Then the company quietly pulled back, first blaming low demand, then calling shutdowns temporary, then offering updates that meant little. By 2025, layoffs once described as short-term became permanent. Instead of staying silent, the Canadian government responded with something new. 3 days after the announcement, Industry Minister Mélanie Joly and Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne revealed that GM and Stellantis had failed to meet commitments. It wasn't dramatic, but it was serious. Canada activated its auto remission framework, a policy created months earlier to hold companies accountable. Under this system, automakers that break production promises lose tariff-free access. GM immediately lost nearly 1/4 of its duty-free import quota. Vehicles shipped from U.S. plants into Canada were hit with a 25% tariff, pushing a typical $45,000 vehicle above $56,000. Stellantis was hit even harder, losing half of its tariff-free allowance. This changed the balance of power. For decades, companies assumed Canada would do anything to keep jobs from leaving, offering subsidies, easing rules, and accepting plant closures. But in 2025, Canada showed it was no longer willing to be pressured. The rules were clear and not negotiable. The financial impact was immediate. GM requested urgent meetings after previously ignoring communications. Joly told the company it had 15 days to submit a full production plan for Ingersoll, specific models, timelines, and confirmation the plant would be part of GM's EV roadmap. Without a real plan, tariffs would stay in place permanently. Other automakers noticed. Ford paused internal planning, and Stellantis reorganized leadership in Canada to avoid further penalties. For workers, the government's action felt like long overdue protection. For the first time in years, corporations, not citizens, were the ones facing uncertainty. The situation quickly became a case study. Canada had built a system that enforced commitments based on rules, not politics or pressure. If GM complied, tariffs could be reconsidered. If not, the costs would reshape supply chains across North America. While all of this unfolded, Canada was also caught between rising tensions with the United States and a slowly improving relationship with China. Former Prime Minister Mark Carney held a 40-minute meeting with Xi Jinping at the APEC summit in South Korea, the first leader-level conversation in 8 years. Beijing hinted at lifting canola restrictions if Canada reversed its EV tax, signaling new possibilities in trade. At the same time, US-Canada relations became unpredictable. Negotiations between Carney and former President Donald Trump collapsed after an anti-tariff ad from Ontario triggered another halt in talks. This pushed Canada into a difficult position. Its largest trading partner was becoming less reliable, forcing Ottawa to look for alternatives. Public opinion inside Canada also shifted. Polls showed that more Canadians saw the United States as a growing economic threat than China, a dramatic reversal influenced by the tariff standoff and the hit to Canadian industries. Experts described this moment as a major reset. Canada was no longer shaping its decisions based on old alliances or assumptions. It was reacting to a changing global economy, one where survival sometimes meant realigning in ways that once seemed impossible. As the GM deadline approached, the core question grew larger than one plant closure. It became about Canada's place in a world where economic power is constantly shifting, and what kind of leverage a country can build when it finally decides to stand firm.